Baseball on Root Sports is presented by H-E-B. No store does more than my H-E-B. By Jack in the Box. Taste the all-new Jack's Brewhouse Bacon Burger today at Jack in the Box for a limited time only at participating restaurants. And by Southwest Airlines. Transparency. Low fares, nothing to hide. Hi fans, and welcome to Detroit. It's Comerica Park. The Tigers have taken the first two games here in this three-game set. And the Astros try to get out there today with their ace on the hill, Dallas Keuchel, to balance things out a little bit. Julia mentioned the salvage, and that kind of is what today's game could be about for the Astros. Just trying to make sure, Blummer, that they win one game in this three-game series.
That's what you got to do. Finish on a strong note. It hasn't been a good trip up to this point, albeit a quick trip. But again, if you have an opportunity to beat a team any day of the week, you go ahead and take advantage of it. And today, Mike Pelfrey might be the guy that wears it.
So let's take a look at our Astros starting lineup, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. For A.J. Hinch, it'll be George Springer again in the top spot. Different look in the two-hole. Alex Bregman trying to break out of it, get that first major league hit after going 0 for 17, followed by Jose Altuve, the major league leader in numerous categories. Middle three, Carlos Correa, Colby Rasmus, and Evan Gattis. And the bottom three, Preston Tucker, Tyler White, and Jason Castro. And we are set to go. George Springer in the box. Veteran right-hander Mike Pelfrey on the hill, 32 years of age. And our first pitch of the afternoon. Hit in the air, right center field. That's in the gap and deep. And that is going to go almost to the wall. Getting it back in is Maybin. One pitch, and the Astros have Springer at second base. A leadoff double.
It's kind of nice to see. Julia hinted at the fact he has been enjoying that leadoff spot, especially with some power. Doesn't leave the ballpark, but puts himself into scoring position by getting a fastball up out over the plate and drives into that right center field gap. Pretty good job by Maybin to get to that ball too, because if it does get to the wall, it probably ends up being a triple.
Or George Springer. Surprisingly, just double number 16 on the year. One pitch in, Bregman now a chance to try to snap things and put the Astros ahead. Again, 0 for 17 now in the major leagues for Alex. Pelfrey brings the first offering, and it's a strike. He's had some very good swings. He's hit some balls pretty well. Just gotten under a couple of balls.
Saw an interesting stat on Bregman. He is 0 for 4 when he's made contact and the balls come off his bat at 95 plus miles an hour. That's uncharacteristic.
So that's hitting in some rough luck right there.
That is, because according to the remainder of the statistic that I read, when the ball's coming off your bat at that speed, the batting average is well over 500. So he is hitting into some tough luck.
The Astros start the day 7 games over 500, 55 and 48. Their high water mark, 10 games over. So trying to claw back. They head back home tomorrow and start a big homestand with the Toronto Blue Jays coming in. Bregman pops one up shallow into right field. Coming on hard is the right fielder Aviles to make the play, and out number 1. So the struggles continue for Alex Bregman.
He is going to get more opportunities this ball game, hitting high in the order as you look at Mike Pelfrey's numbers on the season. 21 games, making his 21st start of the season. He has 110 and a third innings pitched, only 48 strikeouts. So this guy pitches to contact, throws his fastball about 70% of the time. What's interesting, in the last time he faced the Houston Astros early in the season, he gave up 6 walks in that ball game, only 1 earned run.
And you see, since the All-Star break, he has certainly had his struggles. In his 11th year now in the major leagues, Pelfrey brings it to the major league leader in batting average. Altuve grounds it to short. Coming to third base for that out on George Springer is a very good shortstop, Jose Iglesias. So it goes 6-5 on the putout. Springer erased, and Altuve aboard on the fielder's choice.
Interesting choice. You want to try and make that ball be on the left-hand side of you if you're breaking from second base, but George Springer forcing the issue right there.
So that does in that leadoff double. One pitch in, Springer at second base. Bregman pops out. Altuve grounds into the 6-5. And now Altuve with the speed aboard at first base for Carlos Correa. What a ninth inning for the Astros last night, coming back as they were trailing against Justin Verlander, who was so strong all night long. George Springer started the inning with a base hit. Tucker flied out. Then Altuve picked up a base hit as well. Carlos Correa drove in a run with a base hit. And Colby Rasmus, on a ground ball in the infield, drove in a second run. The Astros took the lead. It got away in the bottom of that inning.
Pelfrey's pretty aware that Altuve can run himself into scoring position. First inning has been an issue for Pelfrey. Batting average against him in that first inning is .393.
Pelfrey falls behind on Correa. 1 ball and no strikes. 25 steals on the year for Jose Altuve, and caught just 4 times. Very deliberate here in the first inning is Pelfrey. Falls behind 2-0 for Correa. With that ninth inning hit last night, has the batting average now to .270 with 15 homers. Leads the club with 67 RBIs. Altuve still tied with Rajai Davis for second best in terms of stolen bases in the league. Off the fist, little looping liner, and that's gloved at shortstop by Iglesias. And that'll do it. Inning started promisingly with the double by Springer, but the Astros get nothing. A half of an inning in the books. Ball game. We go to the bottom of the first inning as we watch Dallas Keuchel loosen it up for the Detroit Tigers of Brad Ausmus. That starting lineup today will feature Ian Kinsler in the top spot, followed by Cameron Maybin and Miguel Cabrera. The middle three, Victor Martinez, Nick Castellanos, and Justin Upton. And the bottom three, Mike Aviles, James McCann, and Jose Iglesias.
On the mound for the Houston Astros, left-hander Dallas Keuchel. See his numbers on the season. Righties have been hitting him all right. 13 bombs against him. That's a big number, but 9 of his last 11 starts have been quality starts. Took a tough loss against the New York Yankees when he went 7 2/3. Gave up 2 earned runs that last outing at home.
The numbers in July for Dallas have been very good. The 1-1 mark, 2.33 ERA. Ian Kinsler at the plate. And a very good leadoff man for the Tigers. By the way, these Tigers with the 2 wins in the series now, 56 and 48. So they are actually a half game better than the Astros in the overall standings for the wild card. Keuchel is up early and falls behind 3-0. And when you see Dallas steadily up like this, it's immediately a reaction for me to be concerned, though that could have been called a strike and should have been. And a 4-pitch walk. Tigers have Kinsler aboard to start the inning. Brings up Cameron Maybin. Maybin has had a great season to this point for the Tigers, hitting .374 against left-hand pitching and .330 overall. Went 1 for 4 last night. Keuchel works him in, and that would seem to be the wise thing when Maybin has gotten his hits. They've been to right and right center.
And we know that that's one of Dallas Keuchel's strengths, is the ability to go inside. When he does that, he is effective because it makes his off-speed pitches away that much better. We saw last night Mike Fiers did a good job of it too, throwing some fastballs in, set up that changeup for him.
Keuchel with a 1-1 count. Maybin drops a good bunt on the third base line. Keuchel will have no play. It'll be a bunt single and safely into second base. Ian Kinsler. Tigers right at it as they start their afternoon.
Yeah, just put that in your pocket. That was an excellent bunt from Cameron Maybin. Dallas Keuchel's got a couple gold gloves under his belt, but still the position on this bunt right here was perfect. It was a good look at what Dallas Keuchel was looking at. Maybin moving quickly down the line on that great bunt.
We saw Justin Verlander last night make a real good play on a bunt by Jose Altuve. Not that good of a bunt, though. So the first two reach here in the first inning. Miguel Cabrera at the plate. .298 the batting average. 21 dingers for Cabrera. As he takes the breaking ball for the strike. Surprisingly, lifetime for Cabrera against the Astros, a .250 hitter. Does have 12 homers. All of that coming in 55 previous games. And last night went 0 for 4. Line drive back up the middle. He's got his hit here this afternoon. Kinsler being waved to the plate. The throw from Rasmus into third base, and they get him. Maybin tagged out, and Maybin immediately points to the dugout and says, might want to check this one, guys. So for the moment, the Astros have an out, but the Tigers have a 1-0 lead on Keuchel.
Miguel Cabrera doing what he does with runners in scoring position. He changes the field straight up the middle the other way. Very good professional hitter.
We get our peek at what goes on here with Cabrera.
Sees the ball forever, doesn't he?
Well, that's so dangerous when you watch pitchers see that go by him like that. There apparently will be no review of this play. Brad Ausmus has accepted the out call. So 1 out. That leaves Cabrera at first base. A run in for Cabrera, his 63rd RBI on the season. And it brings up the cleanup man, Victor Martinez. He's the DH. Colby Rasmus picks up the assist. 8-5 on that out at third. And we just continue to see outfield assists from Rasmus and from George Springer. They throw so well. Keuchel once again falls behind on the switch hitter Victor Martinez.
Here's our look at our Lexus outfield rankings. On defense, the Astros are good, leading Major League Baseball with those assists. Colby Rasmus, great arm, accurate. You just saw it right there. Preston Tucker getting that start in left field. Carlos Gomez still ailing with the hamstring.
Line drive hooked foul down the left side. On the 2-0, Martinez ready to rake. These Tigers let loose a barrage in game 1 of the series, scoring 14 runs. They had 3 home runs in that game. Last night, tough and tight all the way. Great outing, Mike Fiers and Justin Verlander. And in the end, the Tigers able to snatch a victory in the bottom of the 9th inning. There were 2 outs for Will Harris and nobody on base for the Tigers before they got a man and nudged across a pair of runs. Two that count. Ground ball right side with the shift on. That leaves a big hole and a base hit for Martinez. Cabrera coming to third. The throw from Rasmus not in time. And so the Astros move the infield around. Victor Martinez takes advantage. And the Tigers just keep on swinging it here in the first inning.
Pretty gutsy attempt by Miguel Cabrera going first to third on that ground ball, but I think he understood where the defense was playing, and that ball shot through that right side. But again, it's going to take some time for Colby Rasmus to get to that ball, and I think that's why Miguel Cabrera made that decision right there. Again, if that throws on line, it might be a little bit closer playing another out at third.
3 hits and a walk here in the inning. Keuchel is yet to retire a hitter, as Nick Castellanos, the third baseman, stands in and has a big rip on the first pitch. Off speed and left up. When Keuchel has won this year in his 6 wins, the ERA has been .245. In his 10 losses, a .705 mark. There's the changeup effectively thrown to the right-hand hitter. Semi shift on. Altuve playing near the bag at second, and a wide open right side as Tyler White holds at the bag. Again, that fastball at 87 missing up from Dallas. Keuchel working with Jason Castro behind the plate. Strike 3 called inside edge. Keuchel gets him looking. So he gets Castellanos for the second out, a big one now.
Nice pitch. Stood him up, caught him leaning over that outside corner with 2 strikes. If I was Nick Castellanos after that fastball up, I might have been guessing that changeup away too and locked him up. Caught the inside corner.
Brings up Justin Upton. Upton hitting .237, 12 home runs on his year. Ground ball left side. That's going to find the hole and produce a second run for the Tigers. 2-0 Detroit, as they just keep swinging it very well here in the first inning against Keuchel.
Yeah, they are not getting fooled at all.
Into second base, Martinez. I'll bring up right fielder Mike Aviles. He's an infielder by trade, but one of those utility guys that plays all around for Brad Ausmus. Keuchel brings a strike. One and one the count. Aviles hitting just .209, 1 dinger, 6 RBIs.
Take a look at that pitch on our MD Anderson strike zone. Just a little bit off the edge.
And now 1-2. Suddenly with Aviles at the plate, Dallas Keuchel spotting it very well on the outside edge. Keuchel trying to quell the riot here in the first inning. just away. And Avila's probably wondering to himself, what's everybody been doing handling this stuff so easily?
Let's see where the game plan is for Dallas Keuchel on that down and away corner.
Well, that looks like a grouping from last year for Dallas.
See if he tries to bust him in, staying away.
And now 3-2. Going to put the runners in motion. Martinez from second, Upton from first, as the catcher James McCann waits on deck. Runners go. The pitch misses. That'll load him up. Second walk of the inning to go with 4 Tigers hits. And McCann comes to the plate, and he had one of the big hits last night. 9th inning single on a breaking ball that set up the game winner for Jose Iglesias.
He's hit a couple breaking balls in this series for hits. First game, pinch hit home run on a breaking ball last night off of Will Harris. Beat him a couple times up with his fastball with a swing and miss and a foul ball. Decided to go to the breaking ball. McCann ripped it into left.
McCann has had his struggles with the bat this year, hitting just .202, but plenty of power. 7 homers, 27 RBIs, as he fouls one off, and he got a pitch to handle. To my eye, and you may disagree, Blummer, but when Dallas has had his struggles this year, and they've been there quite a bit, he just is missing away from those areas that he thrived on last year. Down on the 2 edges.
He's had a tough time living on those edges. Did a great job of it last year, but hitters are not chasing either. What I thought he did great last year is kind of dangle that fastball over the outside corner and have that late sink off the plate from right-handers. This year we're not seeing it.
What I see is one time hitting it this year, and then the next 2-3 pitches either missing the strike zone altogether or right up in the heart of the strike zone, and hitters take advantage. When he's had his strong performances this year, and that last start against the Yankees would be one of those, consistency in those zones that you know he wants to pitch in. Ball and a strike on McCann. Breaking ball hammered deep left center field, back at the wall. That one is out of here, and a grand slam for McCann. And the Tigers jump on top on Dallas Keuchel and lead it 6-0 here in the first.
A little bit speechless right now. Ash keeps seeing off-speed pitches thrown to James McCann, and granted that's not the best location for that pitch, and he jumped all over it, but anything coming up there off-speed to McCann has been getting ripped.
I'm going to say, for me, McCann should not see another curveball, breaking ball in any kind of strike area, maybe down in the dirt to get a half swing, but he is destroying that pitch. Brings up the 9-hitter, Jose Iglesias, again the hero last night. Infield single as he grounded one to the right side to Jason Castro, who fed to Will Harris late at the bag, and the winning run scored on that infield single. That extended a hitting streak to 9 games for Iglesias. Well, this is a rough greeting for Dallas Keuchel. Hit on a hop to shortstop. Correa with the play, and that'll do it. 9 come to the plate, 6 score. The big blow, the grand slam by James McCann. 6-0 Tigers.
one inning, Tigers lead 6-0 over the Houston Astros, and it's time for our Geico quote of the day. Bob Feller. Every day is a new opportunity. You can build on yesterday's success or put its failures behind and start over again. That's the way life is, with a new game every day, and that's the way baseball is. I think you may have to alter that quote a little bit, considering what happened in that first inning, but plenty of game left.
Well, for Mike Pelfrey, it's a new opportunity right now, leading at 6-0. We played one inning. Colby Rasmus leads off here in the second for Houston and takes a strike. And you wonder, for Mike Pelfrey, does this change things at all? Does it free him up to find the plate a little more handily? There's most guys anymore in the major leagues, and I think it's correct, try to pitch as if maybe it's a one-run ball game. Ball and a strike, 93 miles an hour. I think that 92 on our board. James McCann took care of business with that grand slam in the bottom of the first inning. And now 1-2 on Colby. Rasmus hitting .224, 12 homers, 48 RBIs. It's Rasmus, Gaddis, and Tucker for the Astros here in the second. Shift on, three infielders on the right side. As the third baseman once again, Nick Castellanos, plays in shallow right field. Sun's out here in Detroit. Had rain each the past couple of days. Some rain in the forecast today as well. And now 3-2.
I agree with what you were saying about pitchers just pitching to their strengths and continuing with the game plan no matter what the lead is. But if you look at Mike Pelfrey's numbers, he throws 70% of the time fastball, so I think he's going to pretty much stay with that theme. He's not worried about going out there and getting that strikeout, although he gets one here.
Does it with the high heat, blows it by Colby Rasmus, out number one in the second.
But I guess what I'm trying to say is he's been aggressive with the fastball all season long. No reason to change now, especially with that lead.
94 miles an hour. So the veteran right-hander still brings it pretty well. Evan Gaddis stands in. .218 the batting average. 17 big home runs for Evan. Guy that led the Astros in homers a year ago. Well spotted heater, but misses away. A ball and a strike.
How about last outing for Pelfrey? Threw the fastball almost 85% of the time.
And I know a lot of times that can vary with the team you're facing, the type of hitters that you're seeing.
Absolutely. A little bit bigger picture. 2015, he threw the fastball 73% of the time. Here in 2016, he's right at 70. But we've seen a couple wrinkles early on in this game from Pelfrey.
Chopper over the mound. Second baseman Kinsler there to make the play. 2 down in the second.
Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one today, to look forward to Miller Time later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
That'll bring up Preston Tucker. He's mired in a bit of a slump, 0 for his last 9. And that batting average reflects it, 176 on the season. Sent back to the minor leagues and did very well. Been quite a discrepancy in numbers that the Astros have witnessed this year between AAA numbers and major league numbers for a few of the guys.
It has been interesting. I'm not sure how to explain it other than the fact that these guys in the major league level are extremely good. And I would imagine they're made that much better by a lot of scouting reports. There's so much data out there and so much video out there these days that I think that when a young kid springs onto the scene, there's a lot of knowledge about these guys as opposed to when I was coming up. I'm not sure how it was when you came up, but when I got to the big leagues, the first thing that I knew these guys were going to do was challenge me. And what I mean by that is I saw a lot of fastballs early. I saw a lot of fastballs on the inside corner. And those guys were trying to see if I could hit the fastball. Once I established that I could hit the fastball in the inside corner, they started moving off the plate, making adjustments, working to try and figure out my weaknesses. But I think that curve is sped up so quickly these days with all the knowledge that pitchers are given. But again, PCL numbers are going to get inflated a little bit. Nothing to take away from what guys like A.J. Reed, Tyler White, Alex Bregman, these guys are good. They proved it. They played well. They earned the right to get to the big leagues, but you're still playing in the big leagues, and it is not easy.
On the 3-1, Tucker just gets a piece. That'll fill it 3-2.
And that adjustment that you make in AAA might be a little bit easier. Here in the big leagues, you almost have to start making adjustments at bat to at bat.
You know, you could argue that the hitting background should be much better in the major leagues than they are at AAA or any of the minor league levels. And I've heard some guys that come up from the minor leagues and all of a sudden they start swinging it well, saying, well, the circumstances are better. Tucker grounds out a 1-2-3 second inning as Pelfrey enjoys the 6-0 Detroit lead.
Nothing Tigers, bottom of the second. Dallas Keuchel back to work, and an update on some guys that's on the bench today. Marwin Gonzalez, Carlos Gomez, both nursing injuries. Carlos Gomez tested that hamstring today, but still not ready to go 100%. Hopefully in the next couple of days he'll be back in the lineup. And then Marwin Gonzalez, guys, it's a lot more serious than they had originally thought. So he's actually going to see a hand specialist in Houston tomorrow before resuming activity. That leaves a very thin bench for A.J. Hinch. Jake Marisnick, the only guy down there, and I asked him, how long can this go? And A.J. said, you know, we're going to have to do some reshuffling here. Doug Fister being on the paternity list in the next couple of days potentially could change things for them too, and get some healthy bodies up here. It's really tough, and we saw it last night, guys playing in different positions for the first time in their major league career. It's tough, and it's not the position you want to be in when you're trying to win every single day, guys.
Thank you, Julia. Ian Kinsler quickly with an 0-2 count. Has the breaking ball and hammers it on a line to left field. But back to be able to make the play is Preston Tucker, out number 1.
Let's take a look at our Ford spray chart today. Dallas Keuchel trying to keep this ball club right where it's at. Curve usage this season in his last 12 starts, it's jumped about 10%, going from 21% to 31%. Maybe getting a little bit better feel for it. I know early on in the season there wasn't that sharpness to it. Trying to figure it out here in the last dozen starts. But also sometimes you get that fastball location early, you're able to go to it later in counts.
Cameron Maben at the plate. Dropped a bunt single of beauty on the third base line in the first inning. Tried to move from first to third on a base hit by Miguel Cabrera. He was gunned down by Colby Rasmus. As the first 4 hitters in that first inning all reached safely, 1 by walk, 3 hits. Tigers pounded out 5 hits in the inning, including the grand slam by James McCann. Been 6 days since Dallas last pitched that outing against the Yankees. Spent all that time, all the workouts involved, all the throwing, high hopes, and then you come out in the first inning and give up 6 runs. It has to be so deflating. Changeup gets him on strikes. Second strikeout now recorded by Dallas Keuchel. 2 outs in the second inning as it brings up Miguel Cabrera.
Good changeup, pulling the string. That's a fantastic location on that. But again, set up by the fastball in, executing the pitches. Like Ash was talking about, the command missing in good spots.
Miguel Cabrera, after an 0 for last night, slammed one up the middle for a base hit and puts it in the air to right field. Easy for George Springer. He'll make the catch. A 1-2-3 second inning. Dallas Keuchel tries to tighten it up with the Tigers, leading it 6-0.
And time for our Chevy Stroh poll. Make sure to get on Twitter and vote at Root Sports SW is where you can find the poll. It's trade deadline. Tomorrow is the deadline. What's your favorite Astros mid-season deal as we look back at some of these? Was it the Danny Darwin deal in '86, Jeff Bagwell coming over in '91, Randy Johnson '98, or Carlos Beltran 2004? Guys?
Good stuff, Julia. Danny Darwin, Dr. Death at the top of the list. Some pretty good other names to go with Danny. We start the third inning. Tyler White backs away from a fastball that's a called strike. Tyler 0 for his last 13, so it's not just Alex Bregman struggling right now. But you've got Tucker at 0 for 10, White 0 for 13. Another strike called, 0-2 the count. Heard about all the walk numbers from Tyler White in the minor leagues and kind of wonder if it maybe didn't come from the fact that he just takes a lot of pitches. One and two. The Astros have one hit. That was picked up by George Springer. First pitch of the afternoon, he lined into right center field, almost to the wall. But that inning went flat from that point on. Bregman flied out. Altuve reached on a fielder's choice as Springer was thrown out at third, and then Correa was jammed and hit a little infield soft liner. It all came together for Tyler White week 1 of the season, starting in New York, moving on to Milwaukee. Swung a great bat and was American League Player of the Week. Two and two now as Pelfrey misses low.
Maybe they're all going through this funk together, and when they all snap out of it together, they're just going to lay it on some teams. Of course, sooner would be better.
2-2 pitch. Fastball runs in on the hands, popped on the right side. Miguel Cabrera makes the catch. That's now 0 for 14 for Tyler White. Out number 1 in the 3rd. Going to bring up the 9-hitter, Jason Castro. Got some trades happening around the major leagues, and some pretty good ones, quite frankly, with now the Cleveland Indians picking up a big man.
Ooh, man, did they ever.
Yankees unloading a bit as they let left-hander Andrew Miller go to that bullpen of the Indians.
Here's a look at Andrew Miller and what he's done on the season. He will now be that closer for the Cleveland Indians, who already have a great starting rotation, playing very good baseball. But now they've got just a wipeout, shutdown closer at the back end of that bullpen. That'll move Allen into the setup position. Shaw will be that 7th inning guy.
How much stronger do you think that makes the Indians?
A lot stronger. Takes a lot of pressure off that offense. They know they have to score more runs than the other team, but they don't have to score a great deal of numbers more, or a great deal of runs more than the other team. Now they can enjoy those close ball games a little bit more, knowing they have a couple guys at the back end of their bullpen that can come in and just, obliterate parts of the order to get through those games.
The Indians clearly felt they had a needed catcher, and they thought they had gone out and gotten Jonathan Lucroy from Milwaukee, a guy who would fill the needs for just about anybody behind the plate. And yet Lucroy turns down the deal.
And that's his option. He has a no trade clause in his contract. The Indians had approached that situation. Good take. Oh. Expansive zone here on getaway day. But Lucroy had a conversation with the Indians where the Indians said, we're not going to commit to you long term and pick up that option for 2017. And Jonathan Lucroy said, well, if you're not going to pick it up, I'm not coming to Cleveland.
So that deal was nixed by Lucroy. 2 down as Castro strikes out. Back to the top with George Springer, 1 for 1 with the double.
But I feel Lucroy would have made that team better, but I also feel that they're not losing anything by not having him there, because Andrew Miller is a huge pickup for them.
Springer with that double in the 1st inning, hitting .260. Leads the club with 22 homers. That half swing deemed not to have gone through. 1 ball and no strikes. Of course, Aroldis Chapman had already departed from the Yankees bullpen, going on to the Cubs, and you would think that makes the Cubs, once they have leads, and they've had a lot of them, pretty tough to get to. Breaking ball grounded foul. Ball and a strike on George. Very deliberate pace being set here by Mike Pelfrey. And that would clearly indicate that the Yankees feel like their time has come and gone this year. They have emptied out the back of that bullpen.
They've still got Dylan Betances.
Well,
if they have a lead, that guy's pretty reasonable backup.
He's fantastic. Springer with a 2nd hit on the afternoon. Solid base hit to left. And a big turn at first base. He will hold with the 2-out single. Springer 2 for 2, the only 2 Houston hits. It'll bring up Alex Bregman. No, you're right. And it's the 9th inning, but what they had at the start of the year was the 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Yeah, they did a very good job setting that up. The offense just didn't pick them up and have those leads. That's a good swing from George Springer. Again on the curveball. He's hitting it hard this series.
George 6 of 13 in stolen bases. Just not the same guy stealing bags that he was through the minor leagues and that we saw initially in the bigs. Alex Bregman takes close. He flied to right field in the first inning. In fact, quite close.
That's just filthy. You just tip your cap and
Yeah.
hope you get a mistake later in the AB. My goodness.
Honest to goodness, if these umpires are, every time they umpire home plate, getting a report that shows what they do, how are they continuing to miss those pitches? On the hands, looper, that's going to be it. There's the base hit for Alex Bregman, first in the big leagues, as he snaps the 0 for 18. Congratulations, Alex Bregman. The Astros runners at first and third as it brings up Jose Altuve, and the baseball has been given to Bregman. On to Rich Dauer, and the Astros will keep that in the dugout.
It's kind of cool right there, the situations you find yourself in here in the big leagues. Miguel Cabrera welcomes him as he watched the replay of the first big league hit. And with that swing and seeing that ball down in center field, Alex Bregman dropped about 250 pounds off that weight. Now back to his regular everyday fighting weight.
Yeah, that weight came right off the shoulders, no doubt.
The smile is back. I love it.
Well, you always envision that first major league hit is going to be a rocket somewhere. Instead, it's the little thumber, and it's a beautiful thing. Altuve reached on a fielder's choice in the first inning, swings and fouls it back.
Ooh, trying to cut the lead in half with that hack.
18 home runs on the year for Jose, 62 ribbies.
Congratulations to Alex Bregman. And again, I'm in the camp that says he's been having good at bats, finally seeing a ball down like that and realizing, you know, a dream come true getting that first big league hit. That's only going to lead to a bunch more, and I hope they come in bunches.
Well, and he gets it in the 2-hole, and there could be significance there. Again, Altuve with the good swing. It's 0-2. Miguel Cabrera, not a bad guy to share that moment with.
There's a mutual respect around the league, and it is good to see one of the best hitters, watching one of the better young prospects get his first big league hit.
Now you wonder, how much does Miguel Cabrera know about Alex Bregman? You know, Bregman must know a whole lot about Cabrera. Oh, and 2 as Pelfrey is just dragging this thing. Up the ladder, 1-2 the count. Yeah, someday maybe Bregman looks back, has a couple of thousand hits, who knows how many. And you look back and say, well, my first hit, yeah, I hit a solid line drive. I think it was my first or second AB in the major leagues. Tell any story you want at that point, right?
Not this day and age. There's too much data out there. Google ruined everything.
Yeah,
Made my stories a lot.
Alex Bregman may realize that soon.
That's the beauty in telling my stories, is they're not documented on anything. I can exaggerate them.
Bregman goes, the pitch hits Altuve, and that'll load him up. Fastball up and in.
That's
and
not
takes
cool.
a chunk out of Altuve. So the Astros have him loaded up for Carlos Correa.
Oh, right on that left elbow. You kidding me? Ouch. It's going to take a lot more than that to get Altuve out of a ball game, though. I guarantee it, especially when A.J. Hinch has zero bench to work with. Last I checked, Jake Marisnick isn't a very good second baseman.
You can't say that about the guy.
Oh, I can.
He's a great outfielder, and who knows what he can do.
I'll agree with you on that.
Yeah. Back to Miguel Cabrera and Alex Bregman.
Tell you what, if I was Alex Bregman, I would just be all rubbing up on Miguel, because that's quite a discrepancy in hits.
That hug right there might have been worth 1,000 hits as it was.
That would be awesome.
Bases loaded, Correa at the plate. Lined out softly in the first inning. And now a chance maybe for a big swing to get The Houston Astros back in this ball game, 6-0 Detroit. Pelfrey continues from the stretch. Brings that hanging curveball that is deemed to miss high.
Kane held that for a little while, didn't he?
You wonder why?
I do. And now I don't.
And again, I ask the question, how is it that these umpires continue to miss balls in that strike window?
Cataracts? Oh.
That's a good answer.
Blind spots?
2 balls and no strikes.
Plinking?
Continue.
Rough night?
Missed strikes for 40.
Doesn't like Mike Pelfrey? I don't know.
Could
I could make all kinds of reasons.
Could be a lot of reasons. 2 balls, no strikes. Great hitters count now for Correa. Maybe it's one of those days, Blummer, where you fall behind big early and then just start pounding away. The 2-0. And Carlos just appeared to be taking all the way. He gets the gimme fastball. It's 2-1. Correa leads the club with those 67 ribbies. Has the good swing, fouls it back. It's now 2-2 on Carlos. Not a pitch to handle.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Carlos back in the box. And Pelfrey takes forever to get the sign, and then finally Correa asks for timeout. Another look in for the signs by Pelfrey. Off the hands again, ground ball to third. Castellanos on to first base, and that'll do it. So there was a 2-0 count, but eventually Pelfrey gets Correa, and that'll do it for the Astros. A couple of hits and they strand 3, still 6-0.
Jeff Bagwell hits his 36th home run and ties the team record with 29 July RBIs. Having a mammoth season. Again, that season shortened by the strike and a broken hand to Jeff Bagwell of what ended what could have been an absolutely dominant and incredible year for Jeff Bagwell.
To the bottom of the third inning we go. Keuchel falls behind immediately as he faces the four-hitter Victor Martinez. Martinez had a base hit and scored. That was run number 3 in the first. In the air to right field, Springer back, and he'll make the catch. First out of the third inning. Nick Castellanos, the third baseman, will stand in. Done a real fine job for the Tigers. He's had an 8-game hitting streak this year, currently on a 2-gamer. Went 1 for 3 in last night's game, taken out late in the game for a defensive replacement. Almost wound up biting Brad Ausmus. Those numbers that a lot of the number crunchers would struggle with. He's hitting .325 against righties this year, 5th best in the American League. Always loved numbers like this. Over the last 38 games, he's hitting .291, but you look up on the board, he's hitting .294 overall. So what does that number tell you? He's just kind of blended in over that number of games. Springer is back. He'll haul in the second out of the inning. 2 outs as Martinez and Castellanos are retired by Keuchel. We check in with Julia.
The Coca-Cola Value Nights package is one of the best ballpark bargains. Available for select Monday through Thursday regular season games. This offer scores you a ticket, hot dog, soda, and popcorn all for $18. To purchase tickets, visit astros.com/Coke Value or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Thank you, Julia. Hope Julia's staying out of the sun today. It's actually turned into one of those days where you're going to get burned. Sun is out in full force here in Detroit. 0-1 the count. Justin Upton at the plate, had a single and scored, drove in a run in the first inning.
You saying they don't pamper Julia here in Detroit?
Well, I think she gets pampered everywhere, but sometimes pampering comes with sitting in a nice sun-filled seat. I don't know if she's got that pleasure today.
Where were we at? Somebody had like a duct-taped umbrella. Oh, she's hiding. Tucked away.
Julia, come on out where we can see you. She's not even talking now. Strike 3 called, inside edge. Upton caught looking as Julia has the fried Oreos. Dallas Keuchel has a 1-2-3 third inning. To the fourth we go, 6-0 Detroit.
as it stands right now here in the top of the fourth inning. Academy Sports and Outdoors and the Houston Astros are hitting home runs for Houston. Astros home run leaders in 1994. Seems like Baggy was a little selfish, had 39 of his own. Second place was Ken Campenden with 18. Third place was Steve Finley with 11. Gives you an idea of how well Jeff Bagwell was going. My gosh.
Yeah, he didn't stop that year, though.
Yeah, that's true.
First pitch here in the fourth inning. Mike Pelfrey brings the slow curveball for a swinging miss. Colby Rasmus struck out in the second inning. .223 that batting average overall for Colby. Good changeup. Good action on the change.
There's great depth on that. Sold it too with the arm action.
And then tries to bust up and in. Pelfrey took a no decision his last time out. That was at Boston as the Red Sox went in and swept 3 over the Boston Red Sox at Fenway Park. And get the idea in this series how they're playing. The Tigers playing very well. 2-2 the count. This is the 10th time that Pelfrey has faced the Astros in his career, as a 3-5 mark. ERA right around 4.5, so he's a guy the Astros have gotten to. In the air. Into left center field. Maven, the center fielder, will make the catch. First out of the inning. With 1 out, it brings up Evan Gattis. Gattis went 0 for 1 in last night's game. Came in late, wound up striking out in that lone at bat.
It was a tough pinch hit appearance. Been hanging around watching Justin Verlander deal all night, and then Skip comes down and goes, "Hey, you can go out there and do your best."
What do you think of Verlander's stuff tonight? Go handle it right now.
Think you got a shot?
Changeup floats in, finds the inside edge, a ball and a strike.
My goodness.
Little give and take on that strike zone this afternoon. Paul Nauert, the home plate umpire.
Oh, gutsy take.
Other umpires around the bases: Phil Cuzzi, Dan Bellino, and Adam Hamari. Tigers exploded for 6 in the first inning, holding that 6-0 lead. Ball. 2-2 the count.
Seen a lot more of the repertoire from Mike Pelfrey than he has shown in the past. Stood Gattis up right there, locked him up, came back into the zone.
See how McCann just sat on that breaking ball, never bounced up. 3-2 now. Evan takes the slider. Evans 0 for 5 here in the series with the Tigers. Hit his last home run in that final game against the Yankees June 26th. Make that July 26th. Right on the hands, little dribbler, and this could prove to be valuable, and it is. Infield single, Evan Gattis. Comes with 1 out. And Preston Tucker will come to the plate. Sharing that moment with Miguel Cabrera.
No, I think he's going to. He asked Miguel Cabrera, "Hey, could you remind James McCann to pick up my thumbs?" He got jammed pretty good on this one, but it's all about location with that third baseman playing deep against Evan Gattis, and the wheels of Evan Gattis gets him that base hit. And again, hits are hits. You take them any way you can get them.
You're going to line out plenty of times, and so you take those. Gaddis aboard for Tucker, who's 0 for 1. And Preston has now stretched that hitless streak to 10 at bats. 0 for his last 10. Oh, and 1 on Preston. 4 home runs on the season. He started the year like Tyler White, hitting the ball so hard in New York, on to Milwaukee, just stinging the ball. And then it kind of unraveled. Evan Gaddis, by the way, on his career has stolen just 1 base. That came this year. He's been caught a couple of times, once this year, once last. Two balls and a strike. Pelfrey is certainly using all of his pitches. The Astros, with the loss last night, lost another game to the Texas Rangers, who have now won their last 3. The Astros had gotten to 3 games behind Texas. So a couple of costly losses here in Detroit. In fact, the Astros had gotten to 2.5 back. Rangers winning as the Astros had an off day this week. There's your standings in the West. Seattle just 2.5 back of the Astros. Angels and Oakland A's have been playing better in recent times. Tough job as a manager. You got to just give your players the best chance daily for them to win. 2-2. Little Fister foul back. That'll be below us to our left.
Doug's here.
Below us to our left. Let's see.
Oh, Fister, I thought you said.
Oh, gotcha.
Just kidding.
Gotcha. I'm wrapped up in paperwork here. Two and 2 on Tucker. 4th inning. Astros with 4 hits. The Tigers with 5. And strike 3 is called. Tucker started the bat, pulled it back, but the pitch called a strike. Second out of the inning. 3rd strikeout for Pelfrey.
Yeah, it's a gamble. Seeing pitches up in that zone not called throughout this game, but right there, Pelfrey benefits from that call.
Kind of feels like time to just loosen up and take some hacks.
Well, I always talk about it. If you've been listening to some of these broadcasts over the years, I talked about Harry Spielman when I was playing here with the Houston Astros in 02-03. Coming into him and talking to him, completely frustrated. And he got frustrated too because he couldn't find the answers sometimes, and he just all of a sudden stand up, look at you, get real loud and say, well, damn it, swing harder. And it was great because it kind of goes to that what you're talking about. Sometimes you just got to go up there, try and take the brain out of it and get ready to hit.
How many times have you heard that through the years? You know, you got to have a game plan. What are you thinking? What were you thinking in that at bat? And then finally you get to that point where somebody says, stop thinking and go swing the bat. Ground ball to short. They'll get the force at second, and that'll do it. White hit it pretty well for the Astros, a hit, and they fail to score. 6-0 Tigers.
6-0. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Whether you are treating employees, hosting clients, or bringing out your church or youth sports team to Minute Maid Park, Astros group tickets will create an experience your group is sure to remember. Visit astros.com/groups or call 1-877-9-ASTROS to enjoy special pricing and great benefits by reserving your group today. Ash.
Thanks, Julia. Dallas Keuchel set to work. Brings the breaking ball for a strike. Facing Micah Vilas. 7-hitter for Detroit, followed by McCann and Iglesias here in the 4th inning. 6 runs on 5 hits for the Tigers. Big grand slam by James McCann in the 1st inning. His 8th homer on the year. Backhanded by Correa. Sets his feet and makes a good throw, out number 1.
Houston Methodist is going to bring us our league leaders. Important players added at the trade deadline last season. Byers and Gomez coming over from Milwaukee with the addition of Scott Kazmir. And Johnny Cueto and Ben Zobrist one worked out pretty good. Texas Rangers still enjoying having Cole Hamels in their rotation. Blue Jays were hoping for a little bit better return with David Price and Tulowitzki. Price now gone, Tulo having his struggles this year, and Yoenis Cespedes sparked that offense for the New York Mets, pushing them into the playoffs last year.
First pitch from Keuchel misses.
Who could
James
be on that
McCann,
list for next year?
Yeah, I was going to ask you actually, as you see Mike Fiers, and he pitched very well last night. Had the no-hitter for the Astros last year.
What do we got? 4 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow is when the deadline is?
Yes. So if you happen to be hanging out Central Time in Houston, 3 o'clock. Do you anticipate much happening between now and then?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Big style?
I'm not sure. I think some teams have been quiet. Some of those bigger teams like the Dodgers everybody's talking about might be in on something. They always seem to sneak in there and grab some guys.
Those Tampa Bay starters are all still in position.
That's for me is the big one. If Tampa Bay decides to make moves, and if they start to, that could start an avalanche of prospects going their way.
Well, let's put it this way. The only reason Tampa Bay right now in last place would not start to make moves would be that they're not getting offers large enough to fill what they feel like they need to get. I would think anyway.
Well, yeah, and I tell you what, the way things are going with the trade market this season, they might be asking for a boatload of prospects.
3-2 now. Well, if they're not, they're probably not doing their jobs right. It's time to load up if you've got some players, right?
Well, that's what the Yankees are doing.
I thought the Yankees at the beginning of the year with that great back end of the bullpen, very much like the Astros had in the past, might be a team that would be formidable. Apparently not the case, as McCann draws the 1-out walk.
Well, for me with the Yankees, a lot of it's so much hinged on that veteran talent that they have. They have a lot of guys locked up, some big contracts, big names, but they were hoping to get some of that big-time production that they've seen in the past, yet they never got it. Injuries. A-Rod's hitting around 200, isn't he?
Well, the one guy they've gotten it from is Carlos Beltran. And
he may not be there much longer.
You think he's going to be in a big deal? I mean, he could be, obviously.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you've got a young team that plays good baseball and you bring in a veteran like that.
Ground ball to short, backing is Correa. They'll get the out at second. They try for the deuce. Can't get it done. Once Correa backed up on this play, no shot on the double play.
Yeah, not hit hard enough, and Iglesias runs well. So give you a good look at it. Good job getting that first out.
Altuve really trying to get rid of that ball quickly. When you're in a series like this, you're an infielder, and you're looking around and you see Jose Iglesias, very slick, very sure-handed at shortstop. You're Carlos Correa. Is there an inclination to watch and try to pick up some pointers from guys?
I always felt like I was watching other guys constantly, especially the guys I respected and knew played a very good third base or shortstop, whatever position I was at that time. I know early on in my career, I had the opportunity to play against Barry Larkin, Cal Ripken. So, I mean, those were like some salty veteran guys that have been doing it for a long time. So I keyed on them a little bit. But then I also played through the Nomar Garcia Parra, Alex Rodriguez, Derek Jeter, those guys, and watching those guys. So I keyed on those and watched what they were doing a little bit. I didn't try and emulate them. I just tried to maybe pick up on what they were doing a little bit differently. And if you had the opportunity, actually kind of talk to them a little bit and ask them what they were doing.
You mentioned Cal Ripken. To me, body size is similar with you, big guy.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason I watched him growing up, and then actually having the opportunity to play against him was incredible. But I kept my eyes on him for sure.
Altuve to his left to make the play. That'll do it as they get Kinsler. For the Tigers, they leave him, and we've played 4 with the Tigers leading it 6-0. Southwest Airlines. Transparency. Low fares, nothing to hide. By Academy Sports and Outdoors. Donating $100 for each Astros home run and $200 for each Correa home run to Houston Children's Charity. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Well, that looks kind of nice.
Man, does it ever.
Nice time of the year here. Lake Michigan would seem to be a very nice place to be for a lot of fans here in Detroit. Downtown Detroit at Comerica Park has their Tigers leading 6-0. The Astros will try to get something going here in the 5th inning against right-hander Mike Pelfrey. It'll be Jason Castro, then the top George Springer and Alex Bregman. If you have missed part of the game, Alex Bregman has broken out of it. He's 1 for 2, picked up that first major league hit. Jason Castro is one of 3 strikeout victims for Pelfrey. 1-1 on Jason. Batting average now at .212. Tigers play that shift against Jason. Veteran right-hander Pelfrey has utilized that changeup well. 2 balls and a strike. Pelfrey has not walked a man. He's hit one. He hit Altuve in the 3rd inning. Astros had him loaded up, but Carlos Correa grounded out meekly to end the inning. There's that 2-1 fastball right there for Castro and fouled back.
It didn't look like a comfortable swing from Jason Castro, and it didn't look comfortable for anybody else.
Look like the catchers that just stay there, bounce right up, and ready to go. He's a good defensive catcher, James McCann, and he has been slamming the baseball around here in this series. They try to come up. It'll be the heater. At 94 taken by Castro, and I'm not sure what he's asking about on that pitch.
I'll tell you what, he better be careful because Gaddis is in this lineup as the designated hitter. He's the backup catcher, obviously. Look on our strike zone.
Maybe a little bit in. Very, very close. Second time for Castro to go down on strikes, 4 on the afternoon for Pelfrey. It brings up Springer, who has doubled and singled. The Tigers, with that grand slam in the 6-run first inning, have left just 1 base runner today. The Astros have left 5. If you follow WAR, that sort of thing, position players in the American League, Mike Trout is in the lead. Jose Altuve right behind. Pelfrey originally came up with the Mets in 2006. There's Altuve, and well, what a season he is compiling. And now 3-1. Pelfrey then moved on to Minnesota in 2013. First year now with the Tigers. Springer aboard for the 3rd time today. A 1-out walk brings up Alex Bregman. One for 2, had that base hit in the 3rd inning. Little looping liner dropping into center field. It'll be a scorched rocket here in a few years. Went 0 for 18 to start his major league career, and now trying to be a productive part of this Astros offense.
So if a pitcher picks off in the top of the 5th inning with a 6-run lead, does that give you the green light to steal? Does that take the unspoken rules out of the mix?
So now you're implying that at 6-0 it's don't run time.
Wasn't that the taboo thing in the 5th inning on? If you have a
or was it the 7th inning on? Which ballpark are you playing in? Is it Coors Field?
There's too many questions now.
Fenway Park? Yeah, that's the thing. Those unwritten rules, they are way too gray for some of us.
But I think if the team is losing by that many runs, they're going to do whatever they can to try and get back in the ball game.
Look, if you're trailing, let's say it's 7-0 in the 8th inning, and you've got a man aboard, and the other team decides to play back at first base and not hold you, are you going to stay there at the bag?
Nope.
You could not beg me to stay at the bag.
I wouldn't.
I know you wouldn't, but I mean, there are some people who believe that that trailing team should not run in that scenario.
Happens all the time.
Ball and a strike on Bregman. That batting average, which is no longer 3 zeros, is 0.53 and on the rise. Time to buy. In the air to center field. Maben just a little bit to his right. 2nd out of the inning. That'll bring up Altuve. 0 for 1. He's reached on a fielder's choice and been hit by a pitch. Tigers had Anthony Gose in center field at the start of the year. Boy, he's had a rough year, being sent back to the minor leagues and getting in a battle with his manager at AAA, moving on to AA. Guy once considered a great prospect in center field. Altuve takes a strike. On the go is Springer, and he is thrown out. McCann just stays down and brings it. Nice job at second base by Kinsler to pick that out of the dirt and apply the tag. That'll do it for the Astros. Only 3 come to the plate in the 5th inning. Tigers still on top. Let's take a look at that last play with Springer trying to steal second.
Pretty impressive effort from McCann. Throwing from his knees a la Benito Santiago. Great pick by Kinsler. You called it. Put the tag on him.
See how quickly Kinsler threw the glove right in front. Really nice. And we mentioned McCann. He's now thrown out 17 with 15 safe against him this year. Just phenomenal numbers. Slow roller. Tyler White will apply the tag and get the out. Nice play by Tyler.
Very nice play. He's a little shook up on that tag. Charging in, good play. He'll extend that elbow and land on it after that tag.
Tigers have a right-hander loosening in their pen, Alex Wilson. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Miguel Cabrera at the plate. Single driving in a run in the 1st inning. Fly to right in the 2nd. Detroit sent 9 to the plate in that 6-run first. There's Alex Wilson. One ball, one strike. Just another strong campaign for Cabrera. 21 homers. And you can just about bet that when the season's over, he'll get to 100 RBIs. That's one you won't see a lot with Cabrera, hitting the foul ball on the left side. Just stays on the baseball as well as anybody in the game.
I agree, especially at this ballpark. He's got the power to go out to left field, but still has enough to go out the other way. Makes him a better hitter knowing that.
Hits it to right field and deep back at the wall, and he hits it out of here. And that's what Miguel Cabrera does so well. Number 22 on the year, and a 7-0 Detroit lead.
Sucks to be right sometimes, but that was a very good swing from Miguel Cabrera after getting blown up on that. Looked like a cutter in from Dallas Keuchel, where he did pull the ball foul. You can see he got his bearings back, got back up the middle. And again, that pitch was supposed to be inside. That pitch left out over the plate, and that's what Miguel Cabrera does with it. You make a mistake, he will make you pay.
Well, the Tigers add another. It would seem that Mike Pelfrey may be done with his day's work, but he has qualified for the W if the Tigers hang on. And the road doesn't get easy for the Astros as they head back home. 4 coming up against the Toronto Blue Jays. That is a good club, a team that's vying for the wild card and for their division for that matter. 4 against the Blue Jays, 3 against Texas, before heading off on a road trip, 4 to Minnesota and 3 in Toronto. They will then encounter St. Louis at home, leave after a quick 2-game homestand and go to Baltimore and Pittsburgh. So just a lot of tough baseball coming up on the schedule.
Tough part of the year, too.
It is game number 104. So you're inside 60, but you're into August and September. Arms are starting to get worn out. I would contend that when guys are having good years or involved with a team that is having a great chance to win, that it's much easier to get through August and September than the other scenarios.
Yeah, if your mind is focusing on how bad your arm hurts, how your legs aren't reacting the way you want, it might be because your record is less than great, so you're focusing on the negative a little bit, as opposed to if you are in a pennant race, wild card chase, focus has a tendency to be on the game and how you go out there and find a way to win those ball games. I agree.
Victor Martinez now with a 3-2 count. Line drive base hit. Well, they've got some good hitters on this club. One out single. Martinez aboard for Nick Castellanos. Let's take a look now inside the box score, brought to you by Jack in the Box, as we look at that upcoming schedule for the club. 7 against the Blue Jays, 3 against the Rangers, 2 with the Cards, Baltimore 4.
Well, I tell you what, you can look at that two different ways. You can say, yeah, we've got some tough matchups, or you look at it and you say, we've got some real opportunities to make a statement against a team like the Blue Jays and to make up ground against the Texas Rangers.
And we were talking about it yesterday. That statement can mean a lot to a lot of people who follow the game, and that's all well and fine, but that statement means the most to the guys in the clubhouse, in the dugout. Do we believe that we're good enough to win?
Yeah.
The Astros battled and got it done last year, got in via the wild card. They'd love to win the division this year. They again clawed as close as 2.5 to the Texas Rangers after being 11 back. That's no small feat.
No.
And now it's not time to let that work go out the window. 2 balls and a strike. And now 3-1. One of those up and down days for Dallas, I would say, with command. The first inning clearly didn't see him finding his spot over and over, and he paid the price. Three and 2 now on Castellanos. We were talking about Miguel Cabrera, who homered here in the inning, as Scott Feldman now gets loose for the Astros. You realize that Miguel Cabrera, and there's no surprise, has 11 seasons with 100+ RBIs.
Wow, that's nice.
Strike called inside edge, caught looking is Castellanos. Second out of the inning, 4 strikeouts for Dallas Keuchel.
Tell you what, it's been a gracious corner on both sides for both teams.
Had to bring up Justin Upton. Upton had a base hit, driving in a run in that 6-run first inning. Tigers had a 7-run second inning in game 1 of this series. What is going on in the mind of Dallas Keuchel? You feel like you've started to find things, and then all of a sudden a day like this comes along. In the air, center field. Colby just a bit to his right into left center field. That'll do it for the Tigers in the 5th inning. They get a run on the dinger by Cabrera, his 22nd on the year, and extend that lead to 7-0.
Then we go to the top of the 6th, and time to announce the winner of our Chevy Stro poll. Thanks to all who got on Twitter, followed us at Root Sports SW, and voted in this one. What's your favorite Astros midseason deal? How about Jeff Bagwell taking it today with 50%? Best or worst trade, depending on which side you were on for that trade, right, guys? Yeah. Bagwell traded for right-handed pitcher Larry Anderson, the Red Sox back then. That turned out pretty well for the Astros.
Absolutely. Going to be their second Hall of Famer.
Coming up this offseason, that vote, right?
Yep.
Yeah, hopefully that happens for Jeff. I believe he was about 15 votes shy this past year.
I think he deserves it.
For the Astros here in the 6th inning, it'll be Jose Altuve, Carlos Correa, and Colby Rasmus. They'll do it against the right-hander Alex Wilson now, who takes over.
Alex Wilson has fastball around 92, changeup, curveball, and slider.
The count on Jose Altuve. 0 for 1 today. Altuve was at bat as George Springer was thrown out trying to steal to end the 5th inning. At the start of play today, Altuve led the American League with Xander Bogaerts trailing by a wide margin. Jose's taken some pretty healthy hacks here in the game. Chops one to third on 2 hops. Castellanos just able to get Altuve with the speed going down the line.
2016 Coca-Cola Astros Buddies memberships are on sale now for only $25. Buddies members receive a voucher for 4 tickets to a select Astros game, front of line access to Kids Run the Bases, exclusive player autograph sessions, and more. Visit astros.com/buddies for all the details and to purchase a membership for kids up to 12 years old.
One out, Correa at the plate, 0 for 2. Came up with the bases loaded in the 3rd inning. Maybe a chance, as the Astros were down 6-0 at the time, to have a big swing and get the Astros moving. It didn't work out that way. He wound up grounding out to 3rd base to end the inning. Wilson works from the stretch. 0-2 the count on Correa. One and 2. Carlos with 15 home runs. Had a couple of hits in last night's game. The batting average has slipped back to .269. He's 2nd in the major leagues in RBIs, 34 of them over his last 33 games. It goes back to June 20th. Albert Pujols, maybe surprisingly to a lot of you, it's the leader in that span at 36 ribbies. Carlos also hitting .303 in that span, 6 dingers, 15 doubles. In the air down the right side, long run in right for Aviles and into the corner, and it's a fair ball where the catch is made, and a very nice play by Aviles.
Aviles, more known for playing the infield, now gets a chance in right. That ball tailing away from him, stays with it.
It's got to be a lonely feeling all by yourself down in that corner. 2 down, Rasmus at the plate, is struck out and flied out. Colby 0 for 2 now at 223. Colby drove in the go-ahead run in the 9th inning for the Astros last night. Wound up being an infield force out at second base with the run scoring on that play. And he's picked up a ribby in his last 3 games. Had hits in 2 of the last 3 after going 0 for 29. In that 0 for 29, Colby was hitless in 7 consecutive games, matching a negative streak he picked up back in 2010. 3-1 now on Colby. Where Colby has been good this year is with runners in scoring position. He's hit 291. He draws the walk, comes with 2 outs, and brings up Evan Gattis. Oh, we were talking about trades and trade possibilities a little while ago. Do you think, Blummer, that if the trades do kick up, that it'll happen today or maybe wait till tomorrow?
It's going to be an interesting night. A lot of day games on these Sunday afternoons. A lot of phone calls being made. I think overnight you're going to see some action. Maybe wake up to a couple of trades, but tomorrow it's going to be crazy. But again, we talked about how Tampa Bay is pretty much holding a majority of the chips that most guys want as far as starting pitching is concerned. Just a matter of what teams are willing to give up something to pry those starting pitchers away from the Tampa Bay Rays.
Ground ball left side, that's in the hole. Diving stop Castellanos when he spins and fires to first. It is not in time. It's an infield single for Evan Gattis on the heels of the walk to Rasmus. The Astros have a pair of runners aboard, and Preston Tucker coming to the plate.
Back-to-back infield hits in the last 2 at-bats for Evan Gattis. We've seen some shifts, but here the shortstop is playing a little more natural shortstop position, but the third baseman Castellanos was basically playing on the line.
Another opportunity. The Astros have been unable to take advantage of opportunities today. Tucker 0 for 2 with a strikeout. A pitch gets on by McCann to the backstop as the runners move up. Be a wild pitch on Alex Wilson. First base open.
No, you were a little aggressive on the wild pitch call. I thought that was a good opportunity for McCann to really get out there and try and block the 48-footer.
Yeah, it might have been all of that.
Like it left a divot way out in front of home plate.
It's the only ballpark in the big leagues that has that little pathway, isn't it?
I want to say Arizona does also.
I think that comes in anticipation of a catcher who just goes out time and time again.
There used to be grass there early in the season, just wore out a path going to the mound.
Absolutely true. I say that when catchers and infielders go to the mound, it's a visit.
There's been some talk. Manfred's said a couple things about maybe toning that down a little bit.
High in the air down the right field side. Kinsler goes forever to make the play. Very nicely done and casually done in the end. That'll do it as Tucker flies out. Astros leave a pair at second and third.
It's time for a greater coverage of baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. News and notes around Major League Baseball. Jay Happ, career high 14 wins. Jay Bruce, 6 home runs. He is one guy that might end up in the news in the next couple days. Trade bait out there. Max Kepler, the German, has 23 RBIs in July, tied for second in Major League Baseball. And the San Francisco Giants having a rough go of it since the break. They are 3-11. They've had a couple of key injuries.
And now for the Astros. Down 7-0. Dallas Keuchel's day's work is done. Scott Feldman comes on to work here in the 6th. Feldman pitched the final 2 innings on the 24th of the month, that against the Angels. Didn't allow a run, giving up a couple of hits. He's been a guy that's been quite capable of going well beyond an inning, and he's done extremely well pitching out of the bullpen. This is Mike Aviles to start the inning, and has an 0-2 count. 83 pitches on the day for Dallas Keuchel, so it would be a day where he doesn't extend himself too far, and yet psychologically I would think it has to be a rough one on him.
It has been. He's actually picked things up here in recent starts. The month of July was actually pretty good for him up until that start today. It came into today with a 2.33 ERA in the month. He had 27 innings pitched up until today, 22 punch outs.
Yeah, the numbers in July very good for Dallas Keuchel.
And he pitched extremely well against the Detroit Tigers earlier in the season.
8 shutout innings. But I thought in some of the recent starts I really started to see the Dallas Keuchel that was doing the painting job, just working the edge as part of the baseball in the strike zone.
I agree.
Today, right from the first hitter, there was that sense that he was back up and not intending to be up.
Location is a big key for Dallas Keuchel, and I think it's a big key for a lot of guys that don't have that high velocity coming out of the right arm or left arm, because velocity can sometimes make up for lack of location because you're able to blow it by guys. But if you have 87 to 89, 90 miles an hour, you better be pretty precise with where you're putting that baseball, because we saw today spots missed lead to some deep drives.
And you talked about it, about 87 to 90 is about where Keuchel's been most of the season, and you do have to be really good. Here's a leadoff base hit by Mike Aviles with a couple of strikes on him. He'll dig for second. The throw from Springer not in time, and so the Tigers have a leadoff 2-bagger here to start the 6th.
Slider up out over the plate. Just a very good piece of hitting by Mike Aviles. Not trying to do too much with it. We've seen these Detroit Tiger hitters. They are not afraid to go up the middle the other way and take what's given to them by the opposing pitcher.
Just kind of laid the barrel of the bat right through that part of the strike zone. Aviles in scoring position. James McCann comes to the plate. He has homered, a grand slam in the 1st, and drawn a walk in the 4th. We've seen McCann with 3 hits in the series, all on breaking balls. 2 of those hits home runs.
I would say, and damage.
And the way all the numbers are kept in today's game, you would think that would be immediately available. I assume that's just the two-seamer from Feldman, not a changeup. Don't know that.
Came in there at 84, might have been the changeup.
Infield fairly straight up. Following today's game, the Astros hop on the plane, head back to Houston, and hook it up with the Blue Jays tomorrow, first of 4 against Toronto.
Some tough matchups in that Toronto series, looking at the notes that we have.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was actually trying to come up with some responses to that. We've got TBAs across the board to be announced for both teams in terms of the starting pitching. It starts with tomorrow night. Doug Fister and his wife has been close, expecting to deliver soon. And so he's been away from the ball club, did not come on the trip to Detroit. He's scheduled to pitch tomorrow, or was. At this point, you have to wonder, has he had any chance to throw? Where does he stand in terms of his arm? Do you back him off? I would think we will not see Doug Fister tomorrow.
And Scott Feldman throwing in this ball game right here is interesting. Davinsky threw in the first game of this series, threw a ton of pitches.
Joe Musgrove is the guy that has been talked about as likely starting tomorrow's game. But nothing official has been stated, so we go with TBAs. And again, across the board through that entire series, not sure I've seen that happen where you've got a 4-game series. Yeah. Julia Morales will probably dig that out for us at some point today.
She's good at this. According to Jake Kaplan on Twitter, tomorrow is to be announced against Marcus Stroman. Good look at
Joe Musgrove in the minors.
There's a look at Musgrove's number. Tuesday will be Lance McCullers against R.A. Dickey. Wednesday, Colin McHugh versus Marco Estrada. And Thursday will be Mike Fiers and Jay Happ.
Well, if it was that simple, how come the notes say TBA?
I'm going to let you throw that person under the bus.
Anyway, you just got it. So that's what the pitching matchup would appear to be coming up with the Blue Jays.
I'd really like to thank our resource department for coming up with that.
The Twitter sphere, huh? And
Julia.
Yeah, Julia, she did it. Again, it very well could be Joe Musgrove. We are not saying it will be Joe Musgrove tomorrow, but there are a number of...
That's the easier move.
The financial indicators all appear to be pointing in that direction, right?
Financial?
Yeah.
Oh. Not paying attention to that hedge fund.
7-0 Tigers right here in the 6th inning. And that first out is hard to come by here. Leadoff double by Aviles after Feldman got ahead.
Yeah, but look at all the time it's giving us to speculate on things.
Speculation is rampant here in the 6th.
Tell you what, it's just this time of year. You just want to like throw some rumors out there. Stir the pot a little bit.
Go ahead.
Chris Sale throwing tomorrow for us? No? I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, you're not.
Oh, I'm completely kidding.
Ground ball to first, knocked down by White, who then feeds on to Feldman. Out number 1, moving to third base is Mike Aviles. Let's go ahead and talk to Julia then, okay?
First, I'm going to talk about Pokemon. Oh. Catch them all at Astros Pokemon Night, Wednesday, August 3rd. Collect Pokemon, visit all the Pokestops, and participate in Pokemon social media contest. Lures will be set from the time gates open until the 2nd inning, allowing you to catch Pokemon throughout the park. For more information, visit astros.com/Pokemon or by calling 1-877-9-ASTROS. Do you guys feel a little bit better about the starting rotation moving forward? Are you good with that? You need any more help?
Well, let me see. Let me look at the notes here, and I'll tell you.
I know.
TBA.
The notes did say TBA. They didn't know until after those were printed. They didn't get word from the Toronto Blue Jays just yet. And of course, the Doug Fister story is continuing to develop. They're not sure when that baby's supposed to come. Supposed to already be here, actually. So that's why there's been a little bit of confusion of what to do with him. And, you know, for him to go on the mound and then there to be a phone in the dugout just in case she goes into delivery isn't exactly what you want on the mound in that case, guys.
Fly ball to right field. Throw comes to the plate and safe at the plate of Vilas. On a perfect throw from George Springer, it'll be a sac fly. That tag from Castro appeared to go right between the feet and legs of Aviles. That makes it 8-0 Detroit.
Ball was hit a little bit harder than George Springer anticipated. Had to back up a little bit. Yeah, interesting no slide decision by Aviles coming home. Wow, how about that?
Tag might have gone right behind the trailing leg. Though one way or another, 8-0 Detroit.
It's a good look at it on our Super Mode, brought to you by Mattress Firm.
Two outs here in the inning. Leadoff man Ian Kinsler at the plate. He drew a walk to start that 6-run first. Since then, 0 for 2 on his afternoon. How about Julian? All the Pokemon information here recently.
I got a question. If you catch more than one Pokemon, what is it called?
Yeah, I heard somebody calling it Pokemon the other day, and I something just says that's not right. Or is it Pokemons? Julia?
Why do I get thrown in this conversation?
There's the third out on the ground ball to Bregman. That'll do it. The Tigers add one, lead at 8-0. Game summary brought to you by DeMontron. As you see, Dallas Keuchel allowed 6 earned runs today. They all came in the first inning. First career grand slam allowed by Dallas Keuchel. Preston Tucker, Tyler White, Jason Castro 0 for 23 here in the series. That's bad news for the bottom of the order. For the Tigers, James McCann has been a house of fire. Grand slam today, home run earlier in the series. And Miguel Cabrera also launched a home run to right field. 430th of the great career of Miguel Cabrera.
This has not been a good series. Another pitcher for the Detroit Tigers. Coming on will be Bruce Rondon. Flat brim and all, bringing some serious noise with that fastball, averaging around 98 miles an hour. Pulls a string on his changeup around 90 miles an hour and has a power slider at 87.
It did take Mr. Rondon a while to come out of that bullpen in left field, but he is set to go. We'll face Tyler White, Jason Castro, and George Springer. And You just saw the numbers on the guys at the bottom of the order for the Astros have not been good here in the series. They put together that 2-run 9th inning to take the lead last night, right at the top where you would expect it. Tyler White with that recent call up to the team and still trying to find his way back with the bat. 2-0 the count on Tyler. And now 3-0.
Good time for a talk.
Yeah, it's 8-0 Detroit, and James McCann has gone out to the mound. Visit. You opposed to that?
No, I'm not. I think it's a great idea.
I think that it's,
well, you know, on several fronts, it creates a situation where from here, James McCann just yells from home plate, hey, let's work on a release point, give me a strike right here, because you know that's exactly what he's saying going out there. Rondon knows what McCann's coming out to say. But it eliminates the issue, too, sometimes that we see where guys aren't having enough time to get loose in the bullpen, and those meetings happen when they tell the catcher to go out and talk to the pitcher, slow down the game a little bit to get that guy in the bullpen loose.
Or slow down the game a whole lot, which is what happens a lot of times when. Now here's my feeling of honesty is Tyler White puts the ground ball through the left side for a leadoff single. So Tyler White snaps an 0 for streak, 0 for 15 with that one. It'll bring up Jason Castro. A lot of times it comes down to managers not being prepared. And so therefore the catcher or second baseman, shortstop is informed to go out to the mound and kill some time. And that's all it's about. So managers need to be in place and ready to go. And then you keep the game moving.
No, I completely agree on that. And it was kind of fun being here in Detroit, getting to see an old manager, Kirk Gibson, a couple booths down, doing TV for the Detroit Tigers. Managed me in Arizona, and we were talking about it. And he had, his philosophy was he was managing every inning, thinking about what happened. What do I do if the first guy gets on? What do I do if the second guy gets on? That's how far ahead he was trying to think every inning.
Castro thrown out by Rondon. First out of the inning, into second base is White. Jason Castro 0 for 3 on his day. Trying to bunt his way aboard, trailing 8-0.
This game will mess with you.
Could not hear the score. Certainly they did not award sacrifice bunt.
No.
It's become such a part of the game now where they start giving that when there's a no-out bunt attempt.
Well, you know, given the situation, if it's tighter ball game, I would understand it. But here in this situation, please don't.
George Springer at the plate has reached 3 times. He's doubled, singled, and walked. Got the game started. First pitch. Gapped one to right center field, wound up with a double. The Astros could not make a thing happen in that frame. In fact, George was even thrown out heading to third base. That on a ground ball hit a little later by Altuve. Just waving on the off speed. Seventh inning, it's been all Tigers with a big first inning. Dallas Keuchel 5 innings today, 7 hits, 7 runs, all earned, 3 walks and 4 strikeouts, and a couple of home runs against Dallas. That fastball drills him.
Are you kidding me?
So George reaches for a 4th time.
Good to see him pop back up. My gosh, 98 in the ribs.
Second Astros hit batter today.
Well, at least it looked like it might have been a glancing blow, but still at 98 miles an hour, that thing, there's nothing fun about that right there. Oh, man. What's the hardest pitch you've ever been hit by? I know you've been sitting behind home plate wearing a bunch of them, but as far as a hit by pitch, did you ever get just absolutely drilled?
You know, I don't actually have any memory of getting destroyed like that, but those foul tips on the forearms, shoulders, and all that kill you.
Those will wear you out. Just like we promised earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Alex Bregman, he is now officially on the hit board in the major leagues. It's good to see. Just a little drop shot out there, but that story will grow over the years as he tells his friends, family, kids someday. There's the ball being thrown out. That will end up in Alex Bregman's locker.
And that photo somewhere taken right there is going to work too. So looking for that second major league knock. Comes up empty on the high heat at 97. No, it was primarily behind the plate where I got lit up pretty good.
I would say you're just in the line of fire as it is.
But you had a time or two where you just got destroyed.
Man, we were playing in the All Canada series between Montreal and Toronto, and I was hitting behind Jose Vidro. He hit a monster home run off Billy Koch, who was a closer at the time for Toronto. And he took umbrage with it and took it out on my rib cage at 98. It took everything in me not to go down.
So you did not ultimately cry uncle as Bregman strikes out.
Oh, there were some internal tears going on, trust me. 99 up in the zone. That is some serious heat.
Yeah, I wonder what Alex would have to say right now when he talks to a family member or friend about what facing big league pitching is like in the first week.
He's got some big names that he's faced.
Well, he really does. He's played the Yankees and now the Tigers. Jose Altuve at the plate looking for his first knock of the day. 0 for 2. He's been hit by a pitch. Two balls and no strikes. I wouldn't say Jose Altuve has been just red hot killing the baseball over the past week, and yet he's hit 375 in that span. He's got that uncanny way of coming up with the infield hits even when he doesn't hit the ball well.
It's a big AB. It sounds crazy. He might get one more in this ball game, but according to my scorebook, he's hitless in this game.
That is true.
That's a big deal for him on the road.
Now he has reached, that means 38 consecutive games in which he's reached on the road. He's hit safely in 21 while playing on the road. Right now it's about got to keep this thing going. Astros need a big inning.
Man,
and the walk. That kind of fastball running up and in on the right-hand hitters is, it's not okay right here.
Well, you lose one on Springer, okay, it gets away. You start throwing up and in on guys like Altuve and Correa, the other team's not going to take too kindly to that.
Been around some managers, some baseball people who just, and I don't know that they're right, but I've heard this sentiment that if a guy misses that bad up and in with a big-time fastball, he shouldn't be pitching in this league. I don't know that I agree, but it sure is dangerous.
Well, you're going to have those days. I mean, everybody's human, and everybody's going to have those lulls where they lose that release point. But
by the way, did you notice James McCann out to the mound again?
I did. That's why I kept talking.
Second visit. Gone. Go to the bullpen.
Well, Manfred has commented on that publicly.
Time now for a new glove. Yeah, tell me what you've heard from Manfred.
I think it was a certain amount of visits to the mound, whether it be by a player or coach. And there was also a comment made to the fact if you bring a guy in from the bullpen, he has to face a minimum of 2 batters.
2.
So you wouldn't have to bring in that specialist for one guy and then go out there and, you know, you can throw 3 pitchers in one inning.
You know, that would change things. Because where a lot of managers do start bringing in one guy, it's that lefty to face a lefty kind of a thing, and then you go back to the righty and then another lefty comes to the plate and so on. Carlos Correa takes the off speed for the strike.
I just don't see the Union taking too kindly to that.
Yeah, well,
because they are obviously on the side of the player.
I'm
and
not
more appearances, more money.
I guess that's true. You know, one of the things that happens, and I haven't seen it this year, but where a pitcher comes out, manager's not ready, and your team ends their hitting side, and you go back out to the field and a guy hasn't loosened up long enough to come out. So you send your previous pitcher out to the hill, he throws his warm-up tosses, and then the skip slowly walks out to the hill and brings in somebody from the bullpen to face the first man of the inning.
Yeah, that's bad ball.
And to me, that should never be allowed. You go out to the mound, you have to face, you just said 2, that would be a new change in the game. I think a lot of the stuff, some of the stuff anyway, falls upon managers not being quite ready. Correa taps one foul. 0-2 the count to Carlos.
But again, those are all just conversations.
Yeah. Bases loaded, 2 outs here in the 7th inning. Correa down on strikes. So Carlos has had a long day, 0 for 4, and that'll do it for the Astros as they leave them loaded. It's 8-0 Tigers through 6.5. We will hang on right here for God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, through the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Presented by authority of Houston Astros, LLC, and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Houston Astros, LLC.
Back at Comerica Park, downtown Detroit, Michigan, 8-0 Tigers leading in Game 3 as they are putting on a serious bid to bring out the sweep against the Astros. Here in the bottom of the 7th inning, Maybin, Cabrera, and Martinez for Detroit. Scott Feldman on for a 2nd inning. Tigers now have a left-hander loosening in their pen. And you wonder, first couple of pitches coming in hard, this one getting a piece of Maybin. Is there a message being sent?
And you can only hope that if there is a message being sent, that it is now done with. Tit for tat.
George Springer drilled by a pitch. Jose Altuve has been drilled as well.
If you don't mind me saying, I appreciate the fact that Paul Nauert didn't warn both teams.
Yeah, that's
Kinda
actually
understood,
really good.
Kind of an underlying understanding. But
Maybin
again,
goes on the pitch, which is a ball, and the
you know why
throw down
he's
not in time.
he's running right in the face of Scott Feldman with an 8-0 lead. The only reason he took that bag is because he got hit by the pitch.
So how do you feel about that?
Well, I think it's a little bit of, you got to understand the ball game, but Cameron Maybin taking umbrage to the fact that he was chosen to be hit, taking off on this pitch.
So Maybin steals second base. He's in scoring position. Miguel Cabrera at the plate has a 1-0 count. Drive out into left center field and deep back at the wall. That one is out of here. It's a multi-homer day for Miguel Cabrera. His 2nd of the game, 23rd on the year. 2 more runs on the board. And when Cabrera crosses home plate, it'll be 10-0 Tigers.
'47th greatest home run hitter in all time. Tigers are a little fired up. They're playing good baseball of late. Miguel Cabrera now 54th on the all-time RBI leaderboard with 1,511 with that home run.
You know what, if you were looking at things right here from the Tigers' perspective, and just a fair peek, that response from Maybin and Cabrera pretty strong.
Yeah.
'37 career multi-homer games. Imagine that.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Victor Martinez has a 2-0 count. Still nobody out here in the inning. Well, last night's loss for the Astros, heartbreaking the way it went down. Taking that 2-1 lead into the bottom of the 9th inning, having 2 outs and nobody on for the Tigers. And even a strike away at one point, and the game got away. So you put on the 2 offensive barrages by the Tigers and then the heartbreaker in between, and very rough series. Martinez hooks it foul. 2-2 the count. Feldman taking his time. Brings the 2-2. And now 3-2. Victor Martinez took an 0 for 3 in last night's game Again, Mike Fiers very strong for Houston. Will Harris took the loss.
This would be a good idea of how Maben feels about the whole situation.
And again, from that Tigers perspective, that's a pretty strong response.
Yeah, if you're on that Tiger side, all you're saying right now is look at how motivated these guys are. They're not going to take anything. Say it's galvanizing them as a ball club inside that clubhouse.
Ground ball right side. Altuve's there and able to make the play. Martinez not able to run much at this stage of his career. First out here in the inning brings up Nick Castellanos. Three Tigers home runs today. The Astros have left 10 on base. They've had their base runners, but have done absolutely nothing to get those runners home ultimately. Rasmus going back to the gap in right center makes the play. Second out of the inning as Castellanos flies deep to right center. It'll bring up Justin Upton.
Come get a behind-the-scenes look at Minute Maid Park. Learn all about the ballpark by visiting areas like the historic Union Station, luxury suites, the Diamond Club, and much more. For more information, visit astros.com/tours or call 713-259-8996 to schedule your tour today.
For Justin Upton on the day, base hit and RBI, scoring a run in the first. 1 for 3 overall. And a 1-1 count. .237 batting average. And he launches one to left field. Tucker's back. No play. Home run number 4 for Detroit on the afternoon. And 11-0 Tigers. Number 13 on the year for Upton.
At this point, you're just trying to get out of this ball game if you're the Houston Astros. This has not been fun.
All the way to the back of the bullpen. So 11 runs on 10 hits. Pretty efficient for the Tigers, who have left 2 runners today. You slam 4 home runs, you're likely to have a pretty good day. Into right center field, Rasmus glides to his left. That'll do it for the Tigers, but they put 3 more runs on the board, a couple of long balls, and lead it 11-0.
11 runs. Nothing on the board for the Houston Astros. Follow Astros Baseball live with the MLB.com at-bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with Game Day, live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Keep an eye on box scores and highlights even while you're at the game with Minute Maid Park's new Wi-Fi. Download MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone or tablet.
Few changes for the Tigers, starting on the hill where they bring on 24-year-old left-hander Kyle Ryan. Stands at 6'5", so big guy. Jared Saltalamacchia takes over defensively at first base, and Andrew Romine will be the new second baseman.
Kyle Ryan, big left-hander, has got a fastball at 89, has a changeup and a slider.
Rondon winds up working 1 inning. First pitch in for a called strike. For Colby Rasmus, 0 for 2 today. He has drawn a walk. Pretty severe crossfire from Ryan, and you would figure that would make life quite tough on the left-handed batters. Two and one the count. For the Astros, Rasmus, Gaddis, and Tucker here in the inning. Two the count. Colby started the day at 224 with the 0 for 2 afternoon. He's only dipped a point to 223. A couple of RBIs shy of 50 on the year. Got off to a strong start. Colby stays alive. Six Houston hits on the afternoon. But again, they've had plenty of base runners, 10 left today. Colby fouls it down the left side, stays at 2-2. Ryan, born in Florida. Drafted by these Tigers, a 12th rounder in 2010. Colby pops it up on the left side. Iglesias, the shortstop, makes a play in the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Evan Gaddis, who has a couple of hits today and 3 at bats. So with the 2 hits, batting average at .223 for Evan. Breaking ball for a called strike. Ryan now in his 3rd year in the big leagues for the Tigers. Ground ball up the middle, 3rd hit of the day for Evan Gaddis. So he takes advantage on this rough afternoon in Detroit. He's aboard with 1 out for Preston Tucker.
Yeah, racking up 3 hits. This one he doesn't have to go sprinting down to first base on. Gets it right back up the middle. Ash and I are always talking about it. Get greedy, even on days where your team's getting blasted. These are your at-bats. Take them seriously. Get greedy.
Shift on in the infield as Preston Tucker stands in, and looked like Preston was indecisive for a moment, and I wonder if that comes from, should I lay down a bunt for a base hit? Ground ball left side. That will find Iglesias, who gets an out at the bag. That's all they'll get. Fielder's choice, second out of the inning, and it brings up Tyler White. Tyler White snapped an 0 for 15 with a base hit in the 7th inning. Grounded one through the left side. Want to know the count? Tyler White has seen that batting average slip all the way to 206. And White taking the strike. Now take heart, Astros fans, some who are dismayed right now with the weekend here in Detroit. Oftentimes when you think it's just not going to happen, that's when the big streaks of winning will come along.
They've had a great run up until this point.
Absolutely fantastic, and I think a lot of folks are overlooking that.
Just because it stops doesn't mean they can't start another one. Maybe it happens at home, right in front of them.
White takes another strike. 2-2. Just don't see the that nature of trying to hammer strikes from Tyler White that we saw early in the season. He earned his way onto the ball club in spring training by swinging the bat, doing a really great job with it. Ground ball hit to second. Romine with the play on to first base. That'll do it for the Astros in the 8th inning. Get a base hit by Gaddis and Strandeman. It's still 11-0.
That's putting up 11 runs over the Houston Astros 0. We're going to talk about the Kubota pitching performance. We're going to go back to last night. Ken Giles went out there, 12 pitches, and struck out the side. Had a pretty aggressive slider working. Got a punch out right there in Maybin. And a pretty good hitter in Miguel Cabrera, but he also threw the ball about 101 miles an hour we saw last night too.
Certainly was impressive stuff. Tony Sipp comes on now. He will take over on the hill, 41st appearance. Look at the numbers against lefties and righties. It would tell you the story that it has not been the kind of season that Tony Sipp envisioned this year. Eight, 9, and 1 for the Tigers. James McCann leads it off. And he really kick-started the barrage back in the first inning. A 2-out grand slam. And the first of the 4 Tiger dingers on the day. He's also drawn a walk and grounded out. Came into the series hitting just under 200, now up to 205. Very good swing as he fouls the heater back. Tony Sipp would be among the league leaders in rubbing up the baseball, I would think.
I agree.
Curveball hit on the ground at third base. Bregman is right there. And the first out here in the 8th. We'll bring up Jose Iglesias. Doesn't have a knock today, but continues to play a very good shortstop. As consistent as anybody in all of baseball. 0 for 2 with the bat. Does have a sac fly and an RBI. That came in the 6th inning. Nine-game hitting streak on the line for Iglesias. Keuchel, Feldman, and now Sipp on the hill for Houston. A lot of the Tigers hitters still in that take a strike mode. Into right center field. Springer on the move. He'll make the catch. 2 down in the inning. Back to the top with Ian Kinsler, or the Kinsler spot. Andrew Romine is in that spot. Ian Kinsler wound up with an 0 for 3 day, but drew a walk back in the first inning to get it all started against Dallas Keuchel. Before the inning was over, 9 came to the plate, 6 had scored, and it's been all Tigers since. Want to know the count. And now 2-0 on Romine. For the Astros in the 9th inning, it's the 9 spot. Castro in it, Springer and Bregman to follow. 3-0 the count. Romine just taking all the way, 3-1. And now 3-2. The day starts with the Astros a game and a half back in the wild card hunt. The Tigers a half game in front of Houston. Baltimore and Boston, the two teams that presently would be the wild card entries. Cleveland, Texas, and Toronto leading their divisions. And the walk to Romine, so he's aboard with 2 outs. Brings up Cameron Maybin. After the Tigers with Bruce Rondon drilling George Springer, the Astros came back with Maybin at the plate to lead off the 7th inning and wound up hitting him. It was kind of a glancing blow after a couple of pitches in. Maybin then stole second base with the big lead, and that led to the home run by Miguel Cabrera.
Tell you what, you can be a little more ornery when you know you're not going to face a team again the rest of the season, too.
That's true.
You know, there's something to be said with, you know, if this was an American League Central rival, some of these things may not unfold the way they do because you have that familiarity, that opportunity later in the season to face them again. But the Detroit Tigers and the Astros are done with each other.
Maybin swings through the off speed. 1-2 the count.
Maybin's going with the Hunter Pence short pants over the knees.
You know, I've tried to picture if I was in Maybin's spot there in the 7th inning, how I would have taken that. And I think my reaction would have been to say, look, I don't blame the Astros for being mad Springer and Altuve getting drilled today, whether intentional or not. But I don't know if that's the right approach. Clearly Feldman came right after Maybin, but he didn't do it coming up and in, up around the head area.
And he did it with 88.
Contrary to what Springer took at, what'd you say, 97, 98 on that one?
Yeah. I mean, I understand Cameron's frustration. You might want to go over to Rondon and go, hey,
yeah,
that took one for you, man. Let's not do that again.
See, that's for me where the way teams used to play. Guys would go in the dugout right up to a guy and say, I don't appreciate it. I don't want to be the guy going to the plate that gets, you know, the target on his back. It's been a lot different with the umpires and the warnings to both sides.
Or how about Rondon going over to Cameron Maybin and saying, hey, dude, I had a bad day. I hit him. My bad. I understand the situation. Won't let it happen again.
Runner goes. Strike 3 is taken. Maybin caught looking. That'll do it for the Tigers. They leave a man in the 8th through 8. It's 11-0 Detroit. Sports is presented by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by Lexus, the new 2016 Lexus ES and ES Hybrid. It's next level luxury. It has been a big Tiger train here in Detroit over the weekend as they try to sweep Houston out of town. 11-0 the Tigers lead it. To the ninth we go. A couple of changes for the Tigers. Mark Lowe, veteran right-hander, will now pitch for a second time on the series. And Tyler Collins takes over defensively in left field. 31,043 on hand this afternoon. '38th appearance on the year for Mark Lowe. Right-hand hitters have had a great deal of success against him. .354 the batting average. Jason Castro stands in 0 for 3. A couple of strikeouts today for Jason. Shift on again for Castro. Interesting impressions on Twitter about what has happened today and in the series. And my impression today, the Astros got outplayed. They got out hammered with the bats. And pretty tough to try to manage your way through that.
Yeah.
I think Dallas Keuchel would tell you he just wasn't good today at all.
It was a tough one.
And that's not meant to hammer Dallas. That's meant to say Dallas has got a good head on his shoulders, and he would tell you straight up that was not a good performance. Castro takes one close on the 0-2, gets away with it.
He got rung up on one like that earlier in this ball game.
Just almost the identical pitch. 1-2. Batting average at .211 as Castro asks for timeout. And another very close pitch taken. 2-2 the count. Springer and Bregman to follow here in the inning. The Astros have 7 hits on the day to the Tigers 10, but the big difference, 4 Detroit home runs, 1 a grand slam back in the first inning. Lowe works from the stretch. So the Astros in jeopardy of falling to 55-49 with a loss today. And again, they start the day 5 back of Texas. Texas Rangers are hosting Kansas City. They're in the bottom of the 4th inning. Texas Rangers on top 2-1, and now 3-2 the count on Castro. Alex Bregman picks up his first major league hit this afternoon. Strike 3 is called. Castro down on strikes 3rd time today. And an 0 for 4 afternoon. That's out number 1 here in the 9th.
Sorry, talk about not giving in. 3-2 count. 11-0 game, and Lowe throws that slider in a 3-2 count. Yee.
At some point, got to start seeing the bat free up a little bit, though, right? And you're right. It's a different game than it was at one time when it was you're up 5-0 in the 9th inning. It's challenge somebody time. It's not that way anymore. And quite frankly, I don't blame pitchers.
Well, we talk about being greedy and selfish on the hitter side.
Sure.
You've got to be greedy and selfish on the pitcher side, too.
Look, those guys deal in the numbers they put up over the course of the year. Why just throw guys batting practice fastballs? George Springer takes a strike. George has had a perfect day. Double, single, walk, and a hit by pitch. The only blemish being caught stealing back in the 5th inning. And now 1-2 on George. Much of the crowd has departed here, with the game seeming to be out of any doubt. Ground ball hit on 2 hops to short. Iglesias routinely makes the play. And that's 2 down here in the 9th. Puts it in the hands of Alex Bregman, who is 1 for 4, a 3rd inning single, as he hit a soft liner into center field for that base hit. Snapped an 0 for 18 as he begins his journey in the major leagues. Tigers fans to their feet now as they look for that final out of the game. And there's the breaking ball to start Bregman. With a loss today, the Astros will have lost 3 straight. The longest losing streak on the year, not really a bad one. 4 games that the Astros suffered on that losing side. Did it a couple of times, last on May 19th to the 22nd. And that led into the big winning ways. Fly ball to right center field. Maben is under, and that'll do it as he puts it away. Astros go down 1-2-3 in the 9th inning. And the Tigers have it all their way here in the series as they win all 3 and take the finale 11-0.